Welcome to the Jodiff Entertainment channel. I hope everyone watching this is having a good day. Today I will just be going over my Dracotail list that I played at locals last Saturday. I do play once every week, or at least try to. The list you see on screen here is the list that I played, and I'll explain it a little bit more in detail so that you can understand some of my decisions. So obviously, 3 Ash Blossom. This is just for mainly, honestly, for Fugalos and when you go first, and then sometimes you might use it going second, just depending on what kind of card your opponent plays. Fugalos obviously is a great card. I think it's worth maining right now. And then going from there, I have the 3 Cartesia, the one Crowley. I really like Crowley just because the Magistus engine allows for you to make Zeroa. And Zeroa is a monster negate, which you don't usually get with Dracotail. There's a lot of ways you can get to this. So I think it's worth playing, and it's just a one of. And then yeah, you do have to play a couple of extra deck monsters, which can take up space, but I personally like it. And then Cartesia at 3 is just it's another way to fusion, and then it's also a spellcaster, so it can help you make your Artemis. Obviously, 3 Femina, 3 Lucius, 3 Malulu. Pretty standard. We have 3 Pan. Some people may be on 1 or 2. I don't know about 1 anymore. That was kind of in the beginning when the deck first released. 3 Pan, I think 3 Pan is necessary because, if you drop with Femina and another name, you can destroy a monster, and that's pretty good. If you draw it with Femina, Malulu, Pan, that's a negate and a pop, plus whichever one of these you go for, the Arthalion or the Gulamel. So it's just a really good card. And then the Graveyard Effect as well, to Reborn a Dracotail non-fusion, can help in a lot of weird scenarios. 1 Urgula, I don't think you ever need more than 1 of this. It's good for recursion and good to destroy certain spell and traps, but overall you don't need more than 1. In this build, because you do play Caliga, which requires a dark monster, I do like to play the chains and the patchworks, but just some other reasons why I like this is because King of the Swamp, some builds like to play King of the Swamp, and he does allow you to make cards like Dragoon. The issue I have with him is that while he is a monster, and if you played through King of the Swamp, you would have 3 monsters, and this is only 2 and 2 spells, but it's because King of the Swamp, sometimes you want to discard him for Poly, and if you get Poly, then you lose a monster. And sometimes you don't want to make Dragoon because it's not going to do enough for you. Maybe late game, but a lot of times early game it might not do enough, or you may not even have a discard for it. I'm not saying that Dragoon is bad at all. It can definitely work, but I just prefer this, and along with the fact that this can help you make Caliga, which is a floodgate monster. On top of that, you can send this, and then it'll search you Patchwork. And I like Patchwork because Patchwork gets you not only a monster to fuse with, but also another Poly, which can help you go into cards like Chimera or your Secretarian Dragon. Um, Another thing, what was I going to mention about this? Oh, I do play Droplet just because a few reasons I liked Droplet right now was because, one, if you send Chain with Droplet, you can search your Patchwork. And then because I am playing the Patchworks, which is a spell which everyone knows, Droplet, send a spell to negate for free basically. Um, this allows for that interaction a little bit more than if you were to just play King of the Swamp. And Droplet, I just think Droplet is nice against certain things that you might want to negate. I think that Herald, obviously, you're not going to be able to negate Herald with this, so you would have to play around that a different way. And honestly, if you do play, against Yummy, you want to side out the droplets for Dark Roller. That's the only downside is that yeah, Yummy is like the most popular deck, so you could say droplet. Why would you play that right now because of Herald? But Yummy is not the only deck, and sometimes I'm not super familiar because I don't play Yummy, but I know generally what type of boards they make. I think if I'm correct, they don't even make Herald on the end board. They try to make it on your turn, depending on what type of cards you're playing. So if they do that, you could try to stop whatever they're doing before they get to that. I completely would understand if someone doesn't want to play Droplet just because Herald is a card. Um, and like if you don't have spells, then you can't use it on a Herald. You have to have a spell or a trap. And there's a lot of monsters in this deck, so I could see why that might be a problem for someone. But personally, I have no issue with it. And then I already explained the patchworks. Obviously, 3 key 2, 3 Rahu, that's standard. You got to play the 2 polys because you play 2 of this, 2 of this. It can get a little bit weird. Sometimes I'll side out 1 poly for like maybe one of these one ofs, but generally you do want to have 2, 2, and 2. And then the flame and the horn. Um, this was I did not have the new trap yet. I think horn needs to be probably sided. One of these cards down here I would need to take out. Maybe probably skill drain, and then sting is in my opinion, a better card. So really, it should be going here. Sting should be here. The side deck, Perulias. I just like this just to have something else going second against decks that are going to summon a lot from the hand. Retaliating Sea is good against Dracotail, and Branded is popular. Dracotail Branded is popular. That's another deck that I want to try out. I didn't really see it. Dark Ruler, a great going second card. It's great against Yami. Called by the Grave, just for going first, you can take out some things like Fuelos. Duster's a good going second card. Talent as well. Just a lot of these one-ofs that are, they're limited for a reason. Anti-spell, Fragrance, against this deck. If they don't have a way to fuse with their 5 mana, then they can't Key 2, they can't Poly, they can't Rahu, they can't get this in the graveyard. The only way they can get Urgula, they would have to like have Lucius and then add it and have Famina already, or have this already in normal summon. But that's the chances of that is low, so it's a great card against this deck. Skill drain is not that good. I mean, it's okay. Like Yummy, okay. I think you're gonna shut down a lot of their plays and other certain decks like. But like Mitsu, they could still ritual a bunch. They can't destroy your board, but you lose your monster effects as well if you have skill drain. So Mitsu, then they have a big 3200 beater, which is bigger than Arthalion. So skill drain, it's not bad in the deck, but I might take it out. And then 2-dimensional barrier, great card against the mirror, stop them from fusioning at all. Great against Mitsu, can't ritual. And then even like sometimes you might even want to put it in against Yami, just to say no, you're not going to make your synchros this turn, and that can limit them severely. The extra deck, so we have this Magistus. This is basically, if you don't know what this does, you can make it with a Magistus and a Spellcaster. So if you do hard draw this and another Spellcaster in Famina, you can make this, but it's a decent effect. It's basically a quick effect during the main phase. You can equip another monster. You can equip this to another monster, and then you take control of that monster, but you can't use its effect. So it comes up sometimes, but it's just a good option. Generally, you don't use it. Standard 3 Arthalion, 1 Gulamau, you don't need more than one of that. Guardian Chimera can definitely be helpful with the poly, and then it can't be targeted. Kaliga, Floodgate, Chorozo, there's some great combos with this, you definitely need it. Mysteria, honestly, I don't even really go into this that often, but it's just another, decent option in case you want to summon this in certain scenarios. But I really don't. I don't summon it that much, but I mean, there are times when it can be helpful, so I think it's worth playing it. Secretary on Dragon, a great card. Zorua, Artemis, Seal, SP, and Spirit, well, that's a blue Spirit. And so sometimes, usually you're probably going to go for the Artemis play, but if you have these two, there are times where, not these two, sorry. If there are times where you might want to just go for Seals instead. I can't even think necessarily of specific scenarios right now. I would have to be in a game to show it, but um, generally, um, there are times when you want to do this over this, and then you might even have Crowley already. It's a one of. Usually that's not going to happen, but then that can help you just do certain plays to already get Zorua, and you don't need to use the Artemis. So they're worth playing because Syl is a good card, and Syl can get your Malulu out of the deck, and then that's another fusion summon on the opponent's turn. So that's the deck. Probably are some changes that I would make. I don't even know what those would be right now, but if I can remember matchups, I think round 1 was Burning Abyss, which is not that great of a deck right now. It was a 2-0, I believe. Round 2, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. It's Thursday, so I can't remember. I don't remember what round. Oh, it was a Regenesis, which I think was a 2-1. And then I lost the Dracotail mirror match round 3, 1-2 because he was main decking Retaliating Sea. So I did not expect that, and I lost game. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't even remember if I lost that game because I think I had a way to make Guardian Chimera and destroy it. But generally, I lost that match, and then round 4 was another Dracotail mirror, which I believe was a 2-1. So 3-1, I thought it performed decently, but there may be some changes, and like I said, I might consider, changing it to the branded build. So that's basically the deck that I played last Saturday, and then I'll do an update every week on what the deck looks like and explain, differences and any changes that I've made and anything like that. Most likely we'll probably be playing Dracotail again, but I don't know what kind of build. So you should see a update video sometime next week from this Saturday. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.